dealing with a falsehood, you're faced with two options. You can accept it or you can reject it. The basis upon which we take one of these actions is a product of our critical thinking capabilities and a desire to know what is true instead of confirming our bias. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. On Brainstorm, we choose the hard truths over the comforting lies. Reason, compassion, skepticism. This is the Brainstorm Podcast.
To those listening live or to our patrons, welcome back. To those listening weekly, welcome to the Shift to Reason Radio, the Brainstorm production where we take current events and important skeptical topics and try to analyze them critically. I'm Cory, and I'm joined by Rene.
Hello.
Rob.
Hello.
And the always amazing Dave, doing two jobs.
Still amazing. Talking on the podcast and recording it and mixing it. All those things.
Twice as amazing. We're broadcasting live from Roman Empire Studios in Regina, Saskatchewan, and today is September 14th, 2018. Let's kick it off with a little religious nuttery.
Cornerstone, this might be new to some of you. Scripture says that even our righteous deeds are as filthy rags to God. So even the good things that you do, even things like feeding the hungry and clothing the poor, and taking in widows and orphans, as nice as those things are, if not done from the place of obedience to and a relationship with God, are completely worthless and disgusting to God. If you're not daily walking in a place of relationship to God, then the news that we have to bring you is that you're on your way to hell right now.
All right. So, Rob, you have a story.
Yeah, I've got a little quick one that a few people may have heard of. I'm sure by now everyone knows about the Pennsylvania grand jury report about the Catholic Church sex abuse, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
Which report?
Okay.
How many of them are there?
A lot.
It's like 1,300 pages or something like that. It's huge. Well, it appears that 7 other states are starting their own investigations into the diocese in their states. New York, New Jersey, Nebraska, New Mexico, Florida, and Missouri and Illinois are all focusing on the secret files within the church. The 8 dioceses in New York say that they are willing to and able to work with the Attorney General. New Jersey has created a task force to investigate and has power through the grand jury to subpoena documents and compel testimony from church officials. This is pretty big.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It also appears that the churches in most of the states are willing to work with law enforcement as these investigations continue. However, the Chicago Archdiocese said it will meet with the Attorney General, but claims that they've already checked their clergy files.
What does that mean?
Apparently, law enforcement already went through their files as recently as 2015.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah. Okay, so did you find anything? They didn't say anything about that.
Oh, geez.
So this is a pretty deep deal, I think.
If Pennsylvania is any indication, then all of these cities are going to have, a major issue.
Right. Well, if you go back to, as far back as when these allegations really started coming up, in the early 2000s, when, like the Spotlight movie, remember that?
Yep.
Came out in Boston, right? And it turned out they were just shifting all these abusing priests all over the world, right? They're going to end up in these bigger cities in these states where they can hide. And it's going to come out again and again.
Yeah.
Became a shell game of hide the pedophile.
Yeah, so
yeah, pretty much.
At what point does this completely blow up? Or will people ever actually stop supporting the Catholic Church?
What happened in Ireland there? I don't know how fictitious that was, but I saw when the Pope visited Ireland that apparently it was.
Oh, is that
there was much less people, or fewer people, Way fewer people than previous visits.
Okay.
Is that?
That's what I heard as well.
I don't know how accurate it is,
yeah, that the idea that the same thing happened there, and they're starting to find out all this stuff over all these years, and the Irish people are just getting fed up with it.
And they're incredibly Catholic.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever lose. Well, that's just a weird thing. Are they going to lose their faith or just lose their Catholicism?
Yeah, it's tough
Or
to
their
say.
faith in the Pope? Because which one is it?
Right, yeah. Do they just go from the church to something else, or the Catholic Church to another type of church?
Well, probably
Or-
realistically, what they'll do is just try to find a way to contain the priests.
Well, the Catholic
So-
Church is having a lot of financial issues in several places.
Is that right?
Because it's
Yeah.
just not profitable like it used to be, right? So, not everywhere, but
Right.
here they are definitely
Yeah.
in Canada.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to end up in another schism in the Catholic Church. Is this going to be another split?
Oh, it could be. That's an interesting idea.
Another Reformation.
That is a very interesting idea. And that Reformation will include female priests.
I would have to. That's the only thing,
And maybe married
that's the only
priests, too.
thing that could stop this. Well, also it may even allow for gay priests. Openly gay priests.
Yeah.
Because that would change a lot of things as well.
The whole thing. Married priests, female priests, gay priests, bring it all.
Right.
Yeah, bring it all
Yeah.
over. Just become united.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let everybody become a priest, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
Man, could you imagine a modern day schism with the Catholic Church? Like, that would be so interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
Interesting
last
idea.
one it was kind of bloody and messy. So
Well,
I
that's
don't
true.
know.
That's true.
I don't know. I don't know about that. The witch trials, the heretic trials, Spanish Inquisition.
The Spanish-
I know
nobody
no one suspects
expects
the
it.
No one
Spanish
expects
Inquisition.
Like, even here, like in Canada anyway, like, they have a hard time repopulating their churches. Like,
Right.
they're bringing in all kinds of foreign priests, and then their congregations are like made up of like Filipinos and like all these other like it's
Yeah.
Still very Catholic.
yeah, exactly.
Cultures, yeah.
Yeah, but like in terms of actual Canadians going to the church, it's just diminishing.
Yeah.
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 Kind of the same thing from what I understand here in the States. Some of the bigger churches, they're just not filling the pews like they used to. And
yeah.
they've tried all sorts of little gimmicks and stuff to try and get people in. And it's just not happening.
Let me clarify too. I don't mean that Filipinos aren't actual Canadians, but I mean people who
Just before
aren't.
he gets lit up in the comment
Yeah,
section.
exactly. People who immigrate here from other countries with Catholic cultures. But
Glad
that's
you
what I mean.
caught that.
That's what I mean. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like maybe if the Catholic Church is going by the wayside, maybe good riddance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me one bit.
Having said that, though, if you compare them to some of these other nutty churches, there's certain things they do better.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. Catholics tend to be a little more, at least in the States, they tend to be a little more democratic when they vote. It's
Yes.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it's only on a couple social issues that they depart from the Democratic Party. But generally,
Yeah.
Catholics tend to be blue. It's weird.
Economically speaking, there's a whole socialist wing of the church, right? So, like
Right.
liberation theology is largely socialist, and the Pope actually, the current Pope is a very big advocate of liberation theology. So,
it's interesting.
so yeah, you're right. Certain social issues like gay marriage and abortion and stuff like that are one thing, but then when you talk about economics and finances, they're actually relatively liberal, you know?
Right.
So I would even say socialist. Actually, I would even go so far as to
that
say,
right?
Yeah, almost.
yeah.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting. Yeah. This is why I say, like, I
think
prefer.
about it. The whole makeup of the church, the way it's set up, is a kind of like a socialist state, though.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you're
true.
supposed to support. Everything goes into the one pot, and then it kind of spreads out to everybody from there.
Right. Huh.
So I almost want more of that in Christianity. I mean, let's get rid of the sex abuse stuff. Let's get rid of the anti-gay marriage stuff. If we could have more left-wing economic Christians, that's good.
Yeah, like leftist Christians are fine. Yeah, I didn't really know that about the Catholic Church. That's really interesting.
It's funny because I think. Obviously, there are certain people within the church that maybe wouldn't subscribe to that, but if you actually dig within some of their theology, it's like, it's incredibly left wing economically. So, like even this current pope and like some of his views on like how we treat the environment and things like that are quite different than what an evangelical would say, right? So,
right.
Yeah. Most popes have almost always been for advocating for the poor or the lesser privileged of society and stuff like that. But it also plays into some of the Catholic stuff about suffering is good for you.
Yes. There's some problematic things with that for sure. Yeah. Mother Teresa comes to mind. So.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the George Carlin joke. When Jesus said, "Suffer the little children come unto me." That's not what he meant. They shouldn't. Don't take that stuff that literally. They're priests.
Yeah.
Like I always come back to that South Park episode about the Catholic priests and child abuse. And it was one of those episodes where I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can watch this. This is too much. And I'm thinking like, this is just an exaggeration. Like this is way too much. But then like the more stories are coming out, I'm like, their satire is like disturbingly accurate. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God. I was just like, is this really just all a giant cover for pedophiles? Like, is that all this really is? Like, it's disturbing how many reports are coming out, and it's no longer like I've had Catholic friends who've argued that, if you compare it to the general population and the instances of pedophiles, it's the same or something, or even less. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
That is not true.
That cannot be right. I'm not an expert at the statistics here, but it just doesn't seem right to me.
Well, if you think about it, like, I mean, yes, there's been pedophiles in other situations or, positions of power or whatever, but it's not as common.
No.
You don't have nearly as many, like you have, there's been a long line of like priest jokes about that kind of stuff. Not as many, like, say, junior hockey coaches. That does happen,
I say statistically probably not as often.
No.
But I would have to see those statistics, but that's my guess from what we're seeing in the media.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a conglomerate of junior hockey coaches that are grooming.
Yes.
No. I don't think
they're
so.
also they're not shifting them around state to state either.
No.
That too.
So yeah.
There aren't like hockey organizations like covering it up and moving them around.
That's right.
Like that's not happening.
I mean, there's people covering up for certain coaches, but
sure. Actually, Hollywood is probably
as long as they win.
Yeah,
a better place to look for sexual deviancy, where there was being covered up for a long time.
Yeah, apparently so.
Right. And now it's all bursting out.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Okay, I also have a religious Nuttery article. I don't like the source that I have, but it is what it is. From the New York Post, it's a parents arrested after teen dies following a religious fast. So in Reedsburg, Wisconsin, there was some parents who had, I think, 2 kids, and one of them died, and these from starvation, basically, during this fast. And they've been charged with child neglect, allowing their teenage son to starve to death, and for his brother to become severely emaciated. The Sauk, I don't know how you say that, S-A-U-K? S-A-U-K.
That sounds right.
S-A-U-K.
Yeah.
Sauk, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sauk County Circuit Judge Wendy J.N. Clicko? Okay. Set bail at $5,000 for Kendi Omozabi, I hope I wasn't culturally insensitive saying that.
No, just ignorant.
Just ignorant. Good. That's what I'm going for. During his initial court appearance on Tuesday, which was just about a week ago, maybe a little longer at this point. But yeah, these two parents were following a religious, well, actually, I can't say they were for sure following a religious fast because there's some dispute within the police service. They said there's the father told police he was a minister affiliated with the Cornerstone Reformation Ministries and that the family had started a religious fast on July 19th. But the investigators don't believe the father is a minister and that he made up the name of his ministry. There's no IRS number, no corporation. There's nothing official about this ministry. And there was no food found in the house at all.
Yeah.
So, and the house was the police had to force their way into the home because the doors were padlocked on the inside. It had no phone, no power, and no food, the investigator told the State Journal. There was a gym bag in the garage with some clothes in it, and that was it, with the exception of a tambourine. So there's,
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Obviously religious.
So there's some
Tambourine makes it.
Yeah, the tambourine makes it. So there's something weird going on here.
Yeah, that sounds a little out there.
Yeah.
So, interesting thing about churches and registration in the United States is they're not required to register. They don't have to have an IRS number in order to be considered a church.
Okay.
And to be tax exempt.
Okay.
So just the fact that they can't find a record of it doesn't mean this guy doesn't think he's a minister in a church.
Right, he very well could think
Or
that.
right, or he may be a minister in an up-and-coming church, right, of crazies.
Mm-hmm.
How can it be that deregulated? That's just baffling.
Separation of church and state is, and so there's one thing that we agree on with the religionist is that the government cannot interfere with the churches, right? That's but they think that the church can interfere with the government, so we disagree on that point.
Right.
But I also agree that the government can't go in and tell churches what they can and cannot do so long as they're not harming other people. And this is where that stops, because now we've started harming other people.
For sure.
Right.
And they should pay taxes, I think. But that's just
Well, yeah.
That's a whole other situation.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a reason they don't pay taxes, and I'm glad they don't pay taxes because then they'd want to play the game legally. Right now they have to play it under the table.
that is
Yeah,
true.
that's true. Yeah, well, in that respect, there does need to be a set of rules around that, though, right? Because
Right.
you can't just say, well, I'm not paying taxes because I'm a church.
Yeah, this studio
Right,
is
so
not
they're-
a religion.
Yeah, there are some rules that have to be followed. Like there has to be a worship thing. I don't know all the rules, but basically it's really easy to set up a church.
Okay.
You know what? This would be an excellent documentary. Somebody should make up a religion,
Right.
and follow the process.
Start a church.
like
and
someone like Nathan Fielder, like Nathan for you.
Who did that?
John Oliver did that.
Did John
Guy
Oliver
on
do that?
TV.
Yeah, John Oliver did that.
John
to a
Oliver did
point.
that.
Yeah.
Made
That's cool.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he
That's
ended up
right.
giving it all away.
It's just
It
laughable.
was non-taxable because he went through the actual process of doing it, filling out all the paperwork.
That's crazy.
And it was like three
It was
pages of paperwork.
Hilarious.
That is fantastic. I had to look that up.
Yeah. But on another note, this is pretty crazy that their child died because they're idiots.
Yeah.
Well, because
Yeah.
that's the thing is that in Islam they do the fast all the time. Was it
Well,
Ramadan? I
but-
think it is.
yeah.
Anyway,
Right, but the
people
difference
don't
is
die.
they only fast during the day.
yeah,
there's
They don't
rules
fast
about
for
the fast.
30
There's rules
days.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You have to eat and you have to drink. That's what the nighttime is for. You fast during the day. So,
Yeah, like even in other Christian
Really?
churches, there's fasting too, and there's
Yeah.
there's rules
I mean,
around how they do
I was
that.
watching an
Like,
interview with who's a GSP, and he does periodic fasting himself as a way to kickstart his metabolism. And he says it works for him. I don't know the scientific behind it, he might be crazy. I don't know. But
Probably.
in this case, this might be a case of he's just a fucking crazy person. He's like, well, we're going to fast. And
Right.
then, no, you died. Well, I guess, because they sometimes, a lot of them don't know what the fuck they're actually talking about when they go say that they're religion.
Yeah.
Really, they really don't.
There was a follow-up article to that first one that talks about the younger brother who wrote a letter to the lawyers of Sauk County saying that the hunger is too much. Please help me now so I may eat. And basically begging for help. And but the letter never got out of the house, obviously. And it was a 15-year-old boy that had died from the fasting.
See, this sort of stuff just pisses me off. These parents that can actually sit there and watch their child die and not do something about it because they're so insanely religious, right?
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't put my head around what's going through their head when that's happening. This is your child. This is the thing you are supposed to protect and raise.
It's all part of the plan,
Right.
though.
Yeah, it reminds me. It makes me think of like the Christian science people, and who that eschew modern medicine because it's not God's plan or whatever. It's
Right.
It's like just this, I don't know, idea that just you're supposed to suffer and die, and that's just God's deal. It just blows me away.
Or even like assisted suicide is a big one that bugs me with that stuff. It's like you're not allowed to do that because you need to suffer and die.
You have to suffer
like normal people.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that angers me as well.
Yeah.
I can't sit there and watch somebody suffer.
Yeah, but I don't got much else to say about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's unfortunate. Things like this happen. Crazy people do weird things.
But was it last year some Canadian couple was using maple syrup for
Yeah.
medicine?
Was it maple syrup or was it something else?
It wasn't maple syrup, but
I-
it was.
That would have been more fitting, though.
Yeah, that would be way too Canadian. But yeah, it was like, it was homeopathic food bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of remedy.
And the kid ended up dying of meningitis, I think it was.
That sounds
Yeah,
right.
something like that.
I think
something like
were
that.
they charged? I think they were charged.
I think they were charged.
Yeah, and the dad actually spent some time in prison, I think.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah.
unless this was and
No.
and last year he came back out
And
he
was-
was going to go in the alternative health convention circuit.
Yeah, but there was protests because you killed your fucking kid.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go tell other people to do
think?
that.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows that it's not just religion that's dangerous. It's also a bunch of woo bullshit that can be dangerous.
Well, it's like what our guest said earlier. It's this lack of critical thinking.
Yeah,
in
that's
general.
right.
That
Right.
just- yeah, aversion to being credulous.
Tired of living in a culture of lies, fake news, and alternative facts? The Pro-Truth Pledge reverses the tide of lies by calling on politicians and everyone else to commit to truth-oriented behaviors. Take the pledge at protruthpledge.org.
If you like what we're doing and want to help us keep the lights on, go become a patron at patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast. You can hear the bonus half hour that we record every episode and get a shout out when you support the show. Become a patron for just $1 an episode at patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast. Or you can support the show by ordering a t-shirt, mug or other gear from our store at caffeepress.ca/Brainstorm Podcast Gear. If you can't afford to become a patron or buy gear, then why not give us a rating or write a review on iTunes or Stitcher? Every rating makes it easier for people to find us. Thanks for your support.
Hello, Elon Dubrovsky here, local podcaster and science enthusiast. Are your podcasts spewing too much bunk all the time? Are your podcasts constantly making things up, driving you crazy? Are your podcasts full of shit? Think there's no answer? You're so stupid! There is! The Reality Check. Finally, there is a fun, skeptical Canadian podcast.
The San Francisco Hospital study on
paper
origami. Come on, guys, let me just...
Can you make a reel of Elon's paper shuffling?
Yeah. Make it like...
That sounds amazing! Is your music player a computer, a phone, or an in-between? That doesn't matter, because we work on all platforms. The Reality Check. You'll be checked. So head on down to trcpodcast.com. That's the home of the Reality Check. Subscribe.
Speaking of woo, let's hit that woo report.
Speaking of woo.
I'm not a scientist, but if I can tell you your science sucks, your science really sucks.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
All right, Rene, what do you got?
Yeah, speaking of woo and believing in stupid shit, but yet oddly uplifting.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Because apparently GOOP has actually been fined for selling their bullshit.
Good.
Oh, finally.
It's the best story.
$145,000 they were fined.
That's not enough.
It's not enough.
Well, it was over
No.
just the jade eggs.
Ah.
So it was just for the jade eggs that they got fined for that. So there might be more. Who knows? You know, they didn't say that in the article. I'm just speculating and hoping, ironically praying.
All part of the plan.
So at any rate, so there was a complaint filed about the jade eggs, about their claims of their health benefits. And so they were investigated and fined because they couldn't back it up. And now apparently they're supposed to refrain from making any further claims.
Okay.
Now we'll see if that actually happens. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just let everybody make the claims for them.
yeah, well, see, because GOOP fills in that weird gap where, you know, if science haven't confirmed something, they'll just, this will work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancient Chinese tradition suggests you put this egg up your vagina.
Yeah. Although I think because GOOP has gotten so big, the backlash is finally starting to come back. Like this is the first bit
Yeah, it's about time.
The first bit of fines. Like in this article, they also talk about, what was it? I remember when it came out and it was just ridiculous. Those bio stickers or something.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole company around that. Yeah.
Yeah, and because they made a claim to NASA is like, you know, claimed that it was based on NASA tech, and NASA said, fuck off.
Yeah.
Nope.
That was almost exactly a year ago, actually.
Here it is. It promoted Body Vibes, the stickers. Claim contain NASA spacesuit material to help address energy imbalances.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Former NASA scientist told Gizmodo that was a total load of BS.
Yeah, I remember talking about that on last year.
I remember talking about it. Yeah,
I think anybody when they give you something to put on your skin and then they claim it does all these magical things.
It's a fucking sticker.
It's like at some point you're like, there's only so much you can do with a sticker.
You know what? The only people that works on is a 2-year-old with a boo boo.
Yeah,
they think Band-Aids are they fix fucking everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dora the Explorer Band-Aids fix everything.
Just kiss it.
Didn't George Costanza's girlfriend die from stickers?
She died from licking envelopes.
Licking it. It was the glue on envelopes.
Glue.
That's right.
Yeah.
It wasn't stickers.
What a strange episode. Anyway.
Okay, you're comparing Seinfeld episodes? That's strange, okay? They're all strange.
They are. That's true.
Yeah. So at any rate, GOOP has finally been fined. been put these restrictions on. Now, whether they'll follow it, who the fuck knows? Like, they apparently, according to this article, I did not know this. I should look it up just to confirm it. But apparently, GOOP is somehow worth $250 million.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
And size of companies here in the States, that's actually not that big.
Yeah, that's
True,
I mean,
but
for
it
what they
also
do.
hasn't been around that long either. It's only been a few years now, I think.
We should sell bullshit.
That's how you make money. You sell bullshit.
You sell bullshit. Oh, it sells awesome. Like, how many people get excited every time, like, the spiritual psychic fair comes to town?
Like, we just got to find some multi-level marketing thing to push. You know,
Right.
like some
We could tell people that they're going to get rich.
Yes. Tell people they're going to get rich off of this product that I have, whatever it is, this magic drink.
Just got to sign everybody up.
You know, the stickers or...
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have the same issue in Canada as we do here in the States. All this copper stuff.
Oh, yeah.
People selling these copper bands and copper infused braces. And
we have a bit of that.
Like, copper's not going to do anything for you.
My mom used to put a penny on my forehead when I had bloody noses because the copper was going to do something about it.
Because I was surfing around on Amazon actually just before I came down here, and the number of shit that's copper infused. There was a copper infused fucking pillow that's supposed to help circulation or some fucking.
How much was it?
I can't remember. I didn't look that closely.
The problem is then you talk to people who are like using these kinds of things, and they always come up with, since they started doing that, it's been. Right, everything's going better now.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't bought them like the copper infused ones, but I have for when I go to Krav, I do wear like a compression knee and elbow one because I kind of got shitty joints, and it's a compression thing, so it just
compression works.
There is science behind that.
Yeah, that holds it in place. But you can buy ones, and the ones I've got are like. I think I spent $15 on them, but you can spend like $30, $40, $50 on the copper infused ones, and they're supposed to work so much better, which, bullshit.
Well, as someone who works with copper on a regular basis, I can tell you it has no medical efficacy at all.
It hasn't helped you, eh?
Isn't it a conductor?
No, for 15 years working with copper, nothing.
Yeah, how come?
Go figure.
How come you're not perfect? You got a lot of copper around you all day.
That's right. All right.
Yeah, there's too much bullshit in the world.
It's too much bullshit in the world. All right. Science?
Science.
If you base medicine on science, you cure people. If you base the design of planes on science, they fly. If you base the design of rockets on science, they reach the moon. It works. Bitches.
Yes, science!
You like that one.
I do like that one. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. We haven't actually had the bumpers for a while. So
I guess all summer, I didn't listen to all your episodes, but there's no bumpers.
No bumpers the whole time.
Bumper-free zone.
That's right.
The no-spin zone, the no-bumper zone.
No bumpers. All right, Dave, what do you got?
Hey, this is the first time I've had an article.
Yeah, that's right.
In my entire history of this podcast.
I should start assigning you articles every time.
Well, let's not get carried away. I actually shared this article in the group, so I got cursed with it after the fact.
Right.
No, actually, this is an interesting article. So those of you who know about probiotics, and you don't know where this article is going to go, actually, it's probably more interesting than you would think. A lot of people, there's kind of this big movement right now to improve your gut health, right? There's bacteria in your gut, and you need healthy bacteria for digestion and all kinds of other health benefits. Which it's true, there is bacteria in your gut. That's a real thing. But what's been going on with probiotics? There's an article here from CBC News talking about some of the recent studies from the States. It says, findings come as U.S. regulator gives draft guidance for industry on labeling live microbes and probiotics. So basically what this article is talking about is some of the studies have looked at what probiotics actually do to you, how they impact your gut health. And one of the things they find, first of all, over-the-counter probiotics don't really have an impact on your gut health. And the reason why, well, I shouldn't say they don't. For the most part, they don't. And the reason why is because It seems like most people were reacting to their own bacteria if they were taking, if you take somebody's own gut bacteria, let's say prior to taking antibiotics, and then when the antibiotics are done, and antibiotics affect your bacteria in your gut, and then you would replace, or you would give that person their gut bacteria, a copy of their gut bacteria, essentially.
Right.
I'm terrible at the science, but that actually did have a positive impact on their recovery in their gut recovery from taking antibiotics, which is fine. But just a general probiotic had no real impact for the most part. There were some people it did for whatever reason, and that might be to do with, they were saying it might be to do with just that particular probiotic was good for them. But it's not like a universal thing.
Right.
So all this idea that if you take over-the-counter probiotics, or you eat this yogurt, or you have this kombucha, all this stuff that's been going on,
kind of horseshit.
It's not really going to do the things you think it's going to do.
Right.
And in fact, one of these studies talks about how if you take probiotics after taking antibiotics, it's actually can slow down your gut recovery.
Oh, interesting.
So it has the possibility to do that. So you actually need to have your own gut bacteria brought back into the system. So
I've heard of previous or before this stories about people who go through like major medical procedures where it kills all their bacteria or microbiome, all the
microbiome.
The microbiome or whatever, all their gut bacteria basically. And they would, before they would go in for these major procedures, they would get a sample of their feces. And then they would do a fecal transplant. They would capsulate the bacteria, their feces, and give it back to them in capsule form so that they could replenish their gut bacteria after their procedure.
Right. So there's kind of already a precedent for some of that idea.
So,
I do also want to add then on top of this, because I think the biggest problem with some of these supplement markets is that they advertise as if the supplement is going to do everything for you, and I think that's the biggest issue.
Right. Yeah.
So obviously the probiotic market actually one of the things the article says is that the probiotic market actually has something to learn from this and becoming more effective.
Right.
So it shouldn't be taken as all cynicism. There's actually
real lessons.
There's actually something real to change about their product or to look at, and how we treat microbiome. So anyway, so that's important. I think the other thing that's important here, the article clarifies, I love this quote from Dr. Daniel Worthley. Fundamentally, what is indisputable is having a balanced diet rich in vegetables, which helps to foster a healthy microbiome. It's the cornerstone on which a healthy gut is built. So the point is, you have to be healthy in your diet. I'm sorry, that's just the reality of us. We have to have a healthy diet. We have to. You
can't just eat yogurt and be magically healthy.
You can't just take probiotic pills and kombucha.
Eat your vegetables.
You actually have to have some good vegetables. You got to have a balanced diet. It's all these health trends always come back to that in some respect. It's like you just got to be healthy all around. And I know it's more complicated than that when you start getting into the nuances, but ultimately, try to be healthy in your diet, try to get sleep, all those kinds of things are usually the real answer.
Yeah.
So
a little bit of exercise, a decent, varied diet, and an appropriate amount of sleep.
Yeah, all those kinds of things, right?
Well, you got to think about the placebo effect of something like probiotics, though, because if you're willing to go to, say, you're overweight and not feeling good, you're like, well, we'll try probiotics, and that's probably not the only thing you're changing in your diet, right? You're probably thinking about the other things you're eating, so then you get the false positive effect on that because you don't know where it came from.
Yeah. Yeah, all those supplements have that placebo consideration built into them, really. And in this research, they in the one study here, they talk about that one group was given probiotics, and the other a placebo, right? And so there wasn't a lot of difference.
So it was actually a controlled study.
Exactly. That was the first. There's two studies they mentioned. That was the first one they mentioned.
Okay.
Same author. There was an author on both of them who's the same, Aaron Elinav. Anyways. Okay. But Oh yeah, and they mentioned the two groups too. So there was two groups they could kind of be divided into, and one of them they said resistors. The other one, and that meant basically the bacteria just moved from one end to the other without ever attaching to the gut. And then the other group did see some changes to their microbiomes. That's what I was talking about. It's not like the probiotics never did anything,
right? But
there was definitely a large group of resistors who had no impact for.
Okay,
so that's why it's more complicated than just taking a general pill. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, actually,
because I've been kind of skeptical of this topic, and I think this maybe clarified a little bit of that for me.
Right,
and in a way that, hey, there is some treatment application for some things,
right?
But it's just how you direct that treatment and what you do with that. Like you said, the fecal matter thing was kind of interesting. And
yeah, it's interesting stuff.
So it's not just gobbledygook.
It's not
100%.
Which is why it's under science and not woo.
That's why it's under science. Yes. There's parts of it that are definitely woo.
Yeah.
Kombucha being, if we talk about kombucha, which is
right.
about helping gut bacteria as well. That's part of it, what it does.
That's pretty much woo.
There's so much woo involved in that.
Yeah.
And it's just, every time I go to the store, there's just more and more kombucha on the counter.
Is that right?
Yeah. There's kind of a big push for fermented foods. And, there probably is some health benefit associated with some of it. Like, I think kimchi is pretty decent food.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But yeah, there's just like fermented diet. I've seen that for sure.
I wonder, obviously none of us are experts, but it just makes me think like fermented often means like you could potentially be getting negative, like bad bacteria.
Well, that's just it, right?
Like you're not automatically introducing positive benefits.
Yeah.
Like there could be some bacteria that your body rejects.
Yeah,
it doesn't like.
Oh, one thing I find interesting is people attributing like having, I can't remember what the diet's called, but there's like a fermentation diet of some sort that people do, and they attribute that to like positive health results. Some people, like, again, anecdotally. I'm not an expert in the matter, but the one thing I always wonder is like, well, you've cut out a bunch of other stuff that was crap,
right,
and replaced it with this. So is it the crap you cut out, or is it this stuff? You're not eating as much junk food. Maybe you're not eating nothing but carbs. Maybe you're or whatever. Like, you've changed your diet significantly, so maybe that's the positive impact. It might not be the fermented diet itself. Like there's always that.
So if fermented is good, that means beer
is
healthy.
That's the first thing I thought too.
That's what we were waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't know everything about the fermented movement, but I have had some exposure to it, and there's definitely some woo built into that for sure.
Sounds like it.
I like kimchi. I love kimchi. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's a great food, but I don't know if I'm going to have a kimchi diet now because of it.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't know. I could probably eat Korean every day.
All right. We got one more story.
Is there a bumper?
There's no bumper. It's another science.
It's still in the science.
Okay, so there's other bumpers for something else.
We're gonna skip that.
Oh, damn, it's a good bumper. Okay, anyway, go.
Okay. Anyway, this is an article. I read it. I didn't really understand it because it really went into a lot of the breakdowns on DNA and stuff like that, which is over my head. But apparently, thanks to 23andMe, which is, I thought it was kind of funny that basically people are paying $100 to give their DNA to create someone else's, database. Right. That's basically what it is. But with all these people creating this database, they've found some link between schizophrenia and cannabis use. Now, what exactly the link is, they have no idea, but there seemed to be some kind of causation or correlation or something. But they didn't really know what the connection was. There seemed to be a connection, but they didn't really go in. I didn't really understand the connection myself.
I thought, because I kind of looked over this one quickly, and I thought the main part that I found interesting was that, they didn't know which way it went, like where the correlation between schizophrenia and cannabis use was. They couldn't say that cannabis caused schizophrenia, and they couldn't say specifically that schizophrenics tend to prefer to use cannabis. They just found that these two things correlated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there's kind of been a long-held idea, at least in my social science circles, that marijuana probably just brings it on. The onset of schizophrenia is more extreme. Or that was kind of our understanding of.
Interesting.
But again, I think the research is still very, preliminary in some ways.
I was led to believe, because my mother is schizophrenic, my brother is schizophrenic, and my uncle was, that this was all genetic. Like schizophrenia is a genetic disease.
Exactly. Yeah.
But maybe if you have the genetic predisposition, maybe you don't smoke pot.
That was my understanding.
Well, because I've never done it myself firsthand. I've been secondhand stoned a couple times, but pot can be a mild hallucinogen, right?
Yeah.
So it probably triggers something similar in that spot of the brain, like where
it could. Yeah. And you know who's going to lead in this research very soon? Canada, because
that's right.
Next month, smoke them if you got them.
Suddenly, that stash I've got in my
it's all legal. Just don't have over a certain amount.
That's right.
Don't have too many plants, but it's legal. You can.
Well, now it's not just smoke them if you got them. Munch them if you got them.
Munch them if you got them. Anything. Yeah. They'll be.
But edibles are far better. I think
they can be, depending on if they're made correctly.
Yeah. Joe Rogan has a whole routine about that, and it's hilarious. But
having said that, I've done both, and I definitely prefer the smoking high.
Yeah,
I should say,
because apparently it is a different high. Not that I'm speaking from experience.
It's definitely a different high
because you process it differently, so it is a different high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I enjoy it more. I think that way. The food one I didn't enjoy as much. It was kind of like, this is all right, I guess. It's relaxing enough, I guess. But
I for some reason I'm remembering that something that said that you get more of the THC from smoking, you get more of the CBD or the relaxation part of it from edibles. But I could be misremembering too.
Yeah. Smoking is going straight in your bloodstream. You go through the lungs right into your bloodstream. So. Yeah.
Well, it's all about experience. Usually when I smoked, I just passed out, so it was no fun.
Right. I used to have a lot of fun, and then I started getting really paranoid. So then I had to quit because it wasn't fun anymore.
Right. I've become.
I always thought that was. I read somewhere that was kind of the myth, but apparently not totally.
No, it can have that impact. Yeah. I think this is actually in October. We should probably revisit the marijuana topic.
We
cover the woo.
Absolutely will.
Cover the woo and stuff.
We'll just all come in fucking baked.
Well, that'd be fun too, actually. but no, because it'd be really.
I tell
the pot episode.
Yeah.
It's just 2 hours.
I can tell you
of
from experience that is really hard to edit.
Yeah, I bet.
No, but I think it'd be good to go through some of that stuff again, just as a special for October, because once it goes legal. It's a
good idea.
Because there's so much woo surrounding it, and it shouldn't be taken as just a straight up health product. It isn't.
No, that's right.
But it's
absolutely not.
It's absolutely not. But it can have some health benefits. There are very minor ones, but there are some. Just like a glass of wine apparently does. Blah blah blah. It's just
yep.
I mean,
just don't drink like a gallon of
exactly.
wine,
Don't smoke marijuana all day.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids, but a pound a day is not a good idea.
I smoked a whole bale. I'm fucking invincible. I'm also unconscious, but
yeah, that's right.
So, but you can be a very controlled marijuana smoker. It is a thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a chronic just because you're smoking marijuana.
Right, yeah.
You really don't.
Right.
It's just, I know people, and myself included, so.
Yeah, there's no reason that you have to require a joint when you wake up type thing.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to wake and bake.
No.
Right. I guess that's it. Let's click that outro music. For all the other things, you can check out the show notes at thebrainstormpodcast.com and our website, brainstormblog.net. Thanks to our financial supporters, Kayla, Janet, Kim, Stephanie, Zach, the Utah Outcasts, Bassett, Will, Aaron, Daryl, Destin Sucks, Bob Glenn, Destin doesn't suck that much, Magnus, several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave, Positively Skeptical, Rob, Keith, the Podong Polymath, and Larry. If you want to join them and help the show grow, then you can do that at patreon.com/brainstormpodcast. Or you can go and buy some stuff at tpublic.com/stores/brainstorm-podcast-gear. You can join us every 2 weeks on brainstormradio.net. Our next live show is on September 28th, and our guest will be Baba Brinkman, science rapper. Thanks again to Richard for joining us. You can find more of his stuff at facebook.com/theearthboundparent, or I think he said eurasia.com.
I don't remember. I'm just going to Google his name.
I'm also going to Google his name, and I recommend you do it as well. So make sure to check that out. And also remember, I'm offering a free copy of his book, The Earthbound Parent, to the first listener to get in touch with me. Thanks, Rob, for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
I will definitely post links to the original module project.
That's right. I own that website too.
Okay.
I got Fox News bungled us one time, and I went and bought it.
Perfect. Thanks to Dave for our intro music. Thanks to Aaron Rabbi from Embrace the Void podcast for doing the voiceover for the intro. You can find his stuff at voidpod.com. Thanks to Alex Capper-Murdoch for doing the voiceover for our ads, and thanks to Jason Camo for our outro music. You can find his stuff at loststateofmind.com. All music played is either with permission or under the SOCAN license to play. For more information on SOCAN, you can check out the music license info page on our website, brainstormblog.net. Remember to give us a rating, a thumbs up, or a fave on your podcatcher of choice. Join our Facebook group, like our page, follow us on Twitter, share the show, and spread the word. Seriously, share, like, comment on Facebook or Twitter. Reply, retweet, and all of that stuff. Increased engagement means more people see the stuff. Thanks for listening, and remember, the truth matters.
This is an opinion-based podcast. Each person on the podcast is responsible for their own opinions, and those opinions don't necessarily reflect the views of the rest of the panel. Any guests or anyone associated with the people on the podcast, such as spouses, partners, children, other family members, friends, or employers. No one person speaks for the podcast with the possible exception of Cory, and he doesn't speak for anyone else on the show. The Brainstorm podcast does not represent the views of our sponsors.